Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. So Bitcoin right now up a bit as of today, guys. I've got this on the 1 hour. It is really clamoring to go back up to that $27,000 mark. Over the last few days now, Bitcoin has been relatively flat. We are seeing a bit of an uptrend. We are starting to make these higher lows on the micro time frame. But I mean, compared to Bitcoin, XRP has really been the winner over the last week. I mean, we've been getting some excellent news, and even just looking at XRP right now, overall, since Tuesday, since we got that initial Hinman email update, we did see the price of XRP rally just based on the news alone. And now it's teetering off. Again, this is XRP on the hourly, and right now it's trading at about 46.5. It was as high as about 47.5, so it's down about a cent. Nevertheless, this trend is looking still very, very good. XRP needing to get out of this grind and, continuing making its way up past this former level of resistance that we saw from back earlier this year. We do need to see it get up past 58.5, so that is kind of that magical number, that ceiling that we need to pierce before we see XRP rocking and rolling. I mean, it's good too that we're seeing this Nike swoosh pattern also forming, and it is maintaining these higher lows, which is great because hopefully that Nike swoosh pattern continues and we don't see a breakdown and move to the downside. Michael here letting us know that some XRP has been on the move. And massive amounts, shifted to Binance. Noticed by Whale Alert here, he noted that 87.3 million XRP, worth about $41.1 million, were transferred from an unknown wallet to Binance. And down here it goes on to say there are three possible explanations for why wallets outside of exchanges send their assets there, as shifting coins incurs costs. If there is a surge of buyers at the spot exchange, investors are probably sending their coins to be sold. A price fall is a common outcome of this kind of behavior, which is a negative indication. Trading on the volatile derivatives market is the second reason. Last but not least, though, investors periodically transfer their holdings to exchanges for staking, airdropping, or simply reshuffling. So, it's interesting to see massive amounts, though. Mass quantities, it's one thing to see a few, 1,000 XRP moving, or, even 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 XRP. But guys, when it is in the millions, the guys holding $41.1 million and they're shifting it over the Binance exchange are, probably very serious about whatever they're deciding to do here. So, three reasons why we could be seeing this move. It hasn't really been, manifesting in price. As I've said, price action is staying relatively stable. We are seeing that continual incline. Even on the total two, guys, we are seeing, positive momentum to the upside. We are seeing these higher lows. It's forming a nice base here. And, for those of you guys who might not know what total two is, this is the entire altcoin market minus Bitcoin. So even other altcoins are seeing these higher lows here. Coming out of that dreary bear market that we saw throughout 2022, altcoins down on average about 75%. And I've been noticing, guys, thank you so much. I've been noticing even more people decided to join yesterday on my Patreon. It is only $5 a month. And yes, I am going to be talking about this maybe a little more on this channel, especially this coming week, because of this exact thing. We're coming out of the bear market, moving into the bull market. And basically on my Patreon channel, I'm going to be documenting my trades during this run. So if you guys are interested in that, if you want to follow me, it's only $5 a month. I think it's pretty good value for your buck. I'm going to be posting trades on the days that they occur, and these are for shorter term holds. This is spec market trading. I was telling you guys on the channel the other day that I bought into Binance in 2020, got in at about $24, and then exited at about $651 per coin. And that was my best trade in the last run. So, if you guys are interested in following me this time around, and yes, I'm going to say, yes, I almost traded out in and around here and around the $200 mark, but I thought, no, I'm going to let this thing ride. $5 a month, guys. Follow me during this next rally if that is something you are interested in. Wizzy at Nerd Nation Unbox posting this. Y'all be careful. This goes on out there behind the scenes where someone will ask you for 35 XRP because they don't have enough to pay for something. The problem is they ask 200 people, and if 100 people give them 35 XRP, well, that's already 3,500 XRP. So another scam here that he just wanted to bring forth here. Be careful, guys, sending anybody XRP. If you're feeling charitable, there's nothing wrong with doing that. Definitely do not do it in hopes that you will be receiving more XRP. There are a lot of scams out there. Times are tough. This kind of thing happens all the time, and I don't know how many people this person here, Lennon, has already targeted. But just be mindful, guys. Michael also bringing this to our attention with regards to U.S. banks. Now, Hugh Hendry, he went on the record again, making another prediction. He was on the Stansberry Research podcast with Daniela Cambone. And here's what he said. If we went back a year ago, the probability you would assign to that would be almost zero. This was his answer when he was asked if there are going to be any restrictions on the amount of cash people can pull out of the bank. And all I'm saying is that probably like Mercury, it is rising. Why is it rising? It's rising because we have experienced what I call the Fed folly. One can say factually that this Fed hiking is the fastest and of the greatest magnitude. They've never done this before. We no longer live in an environment where it seems prudent to have all your money in the banking system, and certainly not congregated around one lender. Although blanket limits on bank withdrawals are unknown in the US, such restrictions were implemented in Greece and Cyprus during the debt crisis of the mid-2010s. Let me remind you what happened to Bitcoin during that time. Bitcoin back here on the daily, and if we bring it back here to the Cyprus crisis, that was in and around this time here, if I'm not mistaken. No, it wasn't there. It was in around here, April 2013. All right, so about 10 years ago now. And Bitcoin just soared. It just went from about 12, what was it trading at this point? It was about $12 per coin, all the way up to roughly $260 per coin, up 2,000%. And that was correlated specifically to this time here, Greek and Cyprus debt crisis of the mid-2010s. So what he's saying is, this could happen in the United States. We're already seeing banks collapse, and this is just the first. I mean, who knows how many more will collapse in the coming months. So it is certainly something to be mindful of, guys, and the podcast is down here if you guys want to watch that. I will link this in the description of the video. We've also got news that President Biden says he will not agree to a debt deal protecting crypto traders. So, they want to nail us at every angle here, not allowing us to take out our own money from the bank, but also, not allowing us to circumvent the system and, utilizing cryptocurrency for, even for payments or withdrawals in other ways. Here's what Biden recently said. He recently spoke about crypto during a speech at the G7 summit about budget negotiations. He stated that before he left for the summit trip, he had met with all 4 congressional leaders. Biden also stated that they came to an agreement that the only way to move forward is through a bipartisan agreement. Additionally, he stressed that he has done his part by laying down a proposal that cuts spending over $1 trillion. Speaking of other proposals, Biden stated that many of them are quite unacceptable. He said, according to the video let out by Sky News, Biden spoke about crypto, stating, "I'm not going to agree to a deal that protects wealthy tax cheats and crypto traders while putting food assistance at risk." That's what he said, lumped us in with tax cheats. That's how he sees cryptocurrencies, guys, and crypto traders like us. He is painting us all with one brush, similar to what the SEC is trying to do with the crypto industry. So, really trying to clamp down on what's going on. Obviously, guys, we've got to be protected. We've got to be safe. Make sure your crypto is secure. Speaking of your crypto being secure, Michael also bringing this to our attention in the near future. Game Boy owners, I don't know how many of you owned a Game Boy when you were a kid. You're probably around my age, maybe. They will have the opportunity to convert their devices into a hardware wallet for cryptocurrency. So get this, you can retrofit your old Game Boy into a cold wallet storage solution. So a developer named Joseph Shirazi from the cryptocurrency company Cape unveiled a project he has crafted since the beginning of the year. He introduced a concept that utilizes the physical Game Boy cartridge. So you would need the physical Game Boy cartridge, resulting in the creation of a truly offline hardware wallet. So that's interesting. It's completely offline too. That operates independently without the need for firmware updates to supply his innovation. Shiazi shared a tweet he published in January showcasing a Game Boy game where the character can generate a seed illustrating the potential of the endeavor. So I can generate you a new seed phrase. Check this out. And that's those are exactly what the graphics of the old Game Boy looked like. So here's a quote. He says, "So we're producing a real physical cartridge that lets you use your Game Boy as a cold storage wallet, generating mnemonic phrases and save them securely offline. No firmware updates ever. Randomness for generating the keys is introduced by a player as they walk around the world and complete fun quests, RPG style." So there you have it. If you guys have a Game Boy kicking around the house, maybe you want to track this guy down and see if he can retrofit your Game Boy cartridge into a cold wallet storage solution. I'm going to see if I can find mine. I don't even know if I have it anymore. Maybe I will purchase a used one just to get this done. I don't know. Sounds like fun. I mean, I'm trying to keep it light, guys, on a Sunday. But, you know, it is kind of hard when we're getting that hard-hitting news plastered all over Twitter here. So Eleanor Turret posting this, okay, with regards to the latest John Deaton discovery, a really interesting find by John Deaton in the footnotes of Ripple's opposition and reply briefs. It shows references to internal SEC emails conceding reasonable grounds that XRP does not satisfy all elements of the Howey test and is therefore not a security. So guys, boom, bombshell announcement here. This has been the latest in terms of how the SEC has misstepped, and John Deaton, again, in a class of his own, has found this out. Bill Morgan here originally tweeted out this thread. How many of the Hinman emails are cited and included by Ripple in its opposition and reply briefs? We get to see these once the briefs with the remaining allowed redactions are filed on June the 13th. So, you know, we were talking a little bit about the June 13th date yesterday. And if you guys didn't catch the video I did on that yesterday, I will link it up here in the top right-hand corner. He goes on to say we wouldn't see those. Ripple did not reference and include by reviewing these briefs. I don't see how the public gets to view all the Hinman emails on June the 13th, 2023, if they are not all included in the summary judgment brief, opposition brief, or reply brief. Then John Deaton responded, guys, with this tweet here. I think they were included but not all referenced in the brief argument, but I missed this even though I tweeted it out. Read this footnote. Exhibit 220 is part of the SEC emails. XRP is mentioned, and that there are reasonable grounds XRP doesn't satisfy all Howey factors. So guys, this is huge. Right down here it says, and none should therefore be treated as a security. As per this, there are reasonable grounds to conclude that XRP does not satisfy all elements of the Howey analysis and is therefore not a security for purposes of the federal securities laws. It is more likely than not that XRP will not be considered a security and thus not be subject to regulatory oversight by the SEC. And then down here, it talks a little bit about MoneyGram. Submission by MoneyGram to SEC detailing proposed accounting treatment for XRP, which did not treat XRP as a security. SEC did not object to non-security treatment. So is this now the smoking gun? Can they do anything at this point to retort and to, suggest that this is not the case? Diehard Fan Club here saying, so this is someone within the SEC saying that XRP probably isn't a security. Bill Morgan responding here, most likely an SEC attorney, given how many were involved and commented on Hinman's speech, expressing their personal opinions. Let's also not forget that Mary Jo White was a former attorney for the SEC, and now she's on Ripple's attorney roster. She's one of the attorneys for Ripple in this case, so former attorney for the SEC. And even herself has said, I mean, of course, she does work for Ripple, so she's going to take this position publicly, but even she has said, there's so many reasons why XRP should not be deemed a security. Bill Morgan down here saying, is unbelievably positive. If some of the emails show this, I bet common enterprise is one of the factors there where reasonable grounds wasn't satisfied. Even if not all the Hinman emails included, it doesn't really matter as long as we see the juicy parts of the key emails. So now the emails, seeing these emails is going to get even more interesting, I think. Leonidas down here saying, if SEC employees had conversations debating whether XRP was a security or not, how could Ripple and the public have known with absolute certainty if it was a security or not? And that is exactly it. If at the SEC level back then they were all questioning it, how in the heck could Ripple have known that, the status of their cryptocurrency? They wouldn't have known. No fair notice there. John Deaton here continuing on by saying, since noticing this, I've been racking my brain about two things. Why wouldn't Ripple's lawyers make a much bigger deal about this and not include it in a footnote? And number two, how TF did I miss it before today? Although, to be fair, I've read thousands of pages and I do have a job. So John Deaton just, asking those two things. How could Ripple's lawyers have missed this? I think I know how I missed it, he goes on to say. Here's the page before. Now read the sentence ending with footnote 33. The sentence says, other market participants, independent from Ripple, sent the SEC analysis of XRP, concluding XRP was not a security. That first citation is not in the emails. Then the next citation immediately follows cites to SEC lit emails, which are the Hinman emails. You can go further down to see them referenced again with the redactions. Therefore, this quote appears to be from the Hinman emails. So back to my other question, why wouldn't Ripple make a bigger deal about this if it was a statement from a junior SEC staff member? Maybe it's not a direct quote from an SEC official, but it's an SEC official referencing someone else's analysis of XRP in the emails with Hinman. Sandy Ver here's got a reason, because they didn't have to, he says. When there's evidence released that the counterparty states your argument, The evidence becomes the argument. Instead, Ripple's lawyers focused on setting up another defense strategy just in case the Hinman emails were not released. Tamal here asking why Jeremy Hogan or how Jeremy Hogan missed it. Ammo here saying, to be honest with you, you have so much going on with your handling of your own practice and taking on this case for us. I wouldn't sweat it. You're a hero. Don't beat yourself up over it. You are greatly appreciated. You are all aces. Of course, no hard feelings, John. Don't beat yourself up over it, certainly. I'm just happy you found it when you did. SEC staff states that there are reasonable grounds to believe XRP is not a security. That's by SEC enforcement lawyers, people. So John Deaton just stating this again. But the SEC charges Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson with recklessness because it's so obvious that XRP is a security. Absolutely shameful. He continues on by saying, on June 13th, 2018, SEC enforcement lawyers wrote an XRP analyzing whether XRP satisfied Howey, yet the SEC did not recommend enforcement or a cease and desist letter to stop selling XRP. When you add that XRP with this statement about XRP, it could be game over for a jury. And how can it be right to cover the meat of the substance with black boxes? This coming from F.A. Eldemir. How is it considered a redaction and which privacy info is violated? You Americans are so weird, so clearly it does not come from the United States. David Schwartz here responding to that. That's done to get the documents to the public as quickly as possible and not have to wait until redactions are fully worked out. Much less redacted versions will be released to the public. So, I'm interested. I think we all are now to see what is in those Hinman documents. Mr. Hubert here also posting this. OMG, the SEC did not object that XRP is not a security, and Hinman didn't give the speech the SEC wanted him to give. Likely means he should have included XRP in his free pass speech. So just kind of summarizing what we've been talking about already here. Even down here, he cites, the final version of Director Hinman's remarks reflected in entry 11 is not publicly available. Wrath of Kahneman also commenting on this. Oh, you'll want to take a look at this. Seems we have some idea of what could be in the SEC emails after all. Reasonable grounds to conclude XRP does not satisfy all elements of Howey and is therefore not a security. So these footnotes are not going to be good for the SEC's case. This is incredible stuff, says a dingo ate my XRP. How's the SEC pressing on in face of this? Wrath of Kahneman responding, it only becomes relevant for fair notice, which I'm assuming they can argue is not an issue since Ripple was not privy to their deliberations. Therefore, they're still confident in a Section 5 violation. He's asking 416 Crypto here saying, note the section regarding MoneyGram. And so I did read about MoneyGram earlier. He said, and he's pointing it out as well. And I think that could be, part of the reason why. November 22, 2019, submission by MoneyGram to SEC detailing proposed accounting treatment for XRP, which did not treat XRP as a security. SEC did not object to non-security treatment. So even back in 2019, they're saying, the SEC, even though they knew about the MoneyGram deal with Ripple, they did not object on that transaction. And now it's becoming clearer why MoneyGram maybe wanted to distance themselves from Ripple since that lawsuit was announced about a year later. Bill here adding more. John, there was also this passage in the argument, the FN 41, in the reference to EH.277 SEC lit email, which in context of the argument suggests that the SEC reversed a view in the Hinman email. So where is that down here? I think it's here. It likewise reversed its own internal views about other factors that the SEC staff previously thought are redacted or even demonstrate that an asset is not a security. He says that founder lockups and escrow were irrelevant and inconclusive, my guess is, of the missing word in the argument to whether the Howey test applied. That escrow could have been raised in the Hinman emails as possible, given that Ripple had just set it up on December 2017. It is clear in those emails, says John Deaton, that SEC folks made comments probably like there isn't a Howey factor regarding how much of an asset you own or it's irrelevant to the Howey test, but sued Ripple and now argue the escrow makes XRP a security. I can tell you this, though, when Judge Torres ruled the Hinman emails were discoverable because they go to impeachment issues, I don't think she had ever read them, only Netburn. But I do believe they go to much more than impeachment, certainly material to fair notice and recklessness. And not only that, guys, is it a coincidence that this is happening 5 years to the date? Mr. Hubert also pointing out this nugget, this gem. Isn't it odd that the SEC and Ripple agreed to delay the disclosure of the Hinman emails until June 13th, 2023, which is exactly 5 years after Hinman's speech was delivered? Are there any statutes of limitation for Hinman to be charged by the public? Well, that's a very, very good question. I guess we will soon find out, guys. and hopefully we're going to see some action on the XRP chart. Again, it is my largest holding. I was telling my Patreon followers that I hold about 55% of my cryptocurrency holdings are in XRP, and the rest is diversified. Amongst other coins that I'm going to be trading in this bull run, guys, if you want to follow me on Patreon, it's only $5 a month. I'm going to be posting my trades on the day that they occur. Let's see how much profit we can make this time around. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.